in, and I'm not talking about the champion. Kanavi and Zeus. I mean, I think Kanavi did some things that were about as good as a 1-7 Jarvan can do, but he was a 1-7 Jarvan, so...
Late, you know?
And Zeka just was not in form this game, and considering he's been so good this year entirely, just not the best performance we've seen from him. We do end up, even though the sides are flipped in the draft, it's still second pick KT and first pick HLE. That's what we had in the other game. They have just switched colors in terms of red and blue side, but draft order is the same. And so far, bans starting out the same. They did ban the Nautilus here, but they're going to go for the Nocturne instead. I think the Nautilus, you know, I was talking about maybe it being to set up for the Bard, which ended up being what KT picked.
Yeah.
But we'll take that one away. KT not changing their tune at all. So it was an Orianna ban here from HLE, or do you look to prioritize it? And how does that change things for KT?
Yeah, definitely a good question. I do wonder what we end up with in the mid lane now that Ryze and Syndra both gone. Cassiopeia banned once again. You mentioned the lock. Always have to go back to that Kespa Cup game where Zeka against Gen G got 18 kills and 0 deaths, 2 assists. Really just kind of took over the game, and there wasn't anything they could do. They are going to ban Olaf, so they take that away from Perfect for game 2, and there's Orianna gone too.
KT banned the Orianna, so that leaves Vi open and available, and I think Vi feels pretty good here, especially considering things like Poppy, Cassiopeia, Olaf in the equation. So I imagine this will just be a first pick Vi, but it looks like HLE not necessarily feeling the same way.
There are a lot of strong jungle picks available still, but Vi kind of stands out amongst what is left. So definitely a good choice here, especially because it can go with a whole lot of things. Lucian, still available.
Yeah, that's what was talked about on the space. Lucian Million, they'll just slam that immediately in 1 and 2. I do feel like playing Lucian into Vi can be a little bit tricky, can hold you accountable. There is also, we've seen Nautilus do pretty well. The lane in 2v2 can be a bit precarious, but it just makes it very hard for Lucian to play the game if there's 2 point-and-click ults, and he is obviously such a short-range carry. But HLE, I think, can obviously focus towards the top side if they please here, although actually hovering the Xayah here. We have seen like Rakan priority rise up a little bit recently.
Yeah.
And well, I was going to say Delight is an excellent Rakan. They don't have Delight, but
I think bluffing is also very strong at this champion, but it's very early to see Xayah Rakan.
Yeah, very early in the draft. And the thought process is obviously it's a pretty strong 2v2. If Lucian tries to dash up, there's a threat of the feathers, there's the threat of Rakan CC, but it does feel a little bit unexpected to see a slam so early in the draft and in the series. You know, game 2, not that much has been eliminated.
Trundle, definitely something that Cuz enjoys and can be a good neutralizing pick from the jungle. We have seen it banned a lot in second phases, especially here in round 3. And he's just going to get ahead of it. And there's the lock ban. Not going to see it this time for Zeka.
Yeah, I don't see massively the Trundle value here. I mean, the pillar can interrupt Vi Q. It's pretty good into Xayah, who, you know, if she goes up and goes down again, terrain's always been a problem for her. But I feel like it's not going to do much against a Rakan, and you don't really have a tanky target yet to prioritize with that ultimate. You so often see Trundle into things like Xin Zhao, that you can just kind of munch on and reduce the AD, but not going to come through here. Both teams opting to ban away mid laners here. It is KT with second pick, so they'll get first prio after the bans and have counter pick available to them. There's still a lot of top laners available that can be quite annoying. You know, the Vayne is still a possibility. There's still things like Gnar, Rumble, and Bessa. There's a lot of options for these two players.
Especially when it's Perfect and Zeus and they just always play a bunch of weird stuff. Aurora, gonna be banned.
Going heavy on the mid bans here.
It's pretty interesting. We see a lot of Aurora into Annie, but then Annie got banned first, and then Aurora comes next. Zeka definitely a strong Aurora player, and with all the mid focus, we're getting down the tier list a bit here.
There's still Victor, which has struggled recently in the LCK, but is definitely something that our teams do like to play. There's Yone, which especially with Rumble still available, could be an option in this situation.
There's mid-Ziggs. No, there's not mid-Ziggs. I wish. Ahri, gonna be banned away by HLE, actually. Ahri Vi definitely very strong, but don't want to let BDD pick it first.
Don't have amazing setup for the Talia, but Talia I feel like does pretty good into some of these champions on the side of HLE, and obviously BDD is excellent at it.
It's a good blind pick too, but
they're going to grab the Rumble first and foremost for Perfect. And I expect just the Ambessa from Zayas is what we've seen as a matchup into the Rumble. But first and foremost, Zeka looking at his signature Akali. Don't know the mid matchup yet, but we know he's confident on this pick. And I think if you go Akali, Ambessa, you just have that dive focus composition. We really need to see what BDD can pick here, because I think Victor just makes no sense here. You're just going to be a target. And again, it's been not an ideal pick in the LCK recently. He just hasn't really found a ton of success.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, Galio definitely is tanky, can taunt people as they come in, does pretty well into Akali, and
yeah,
so that's just going to be the neutralizing pick.
I often like Galio when you have setup for it, but that doesn't really exist here. But I think when HLE's composition is so geared towards diving in on you, I think the Galio can just, hold that taunt down. It works against Akali when she's trying to hide in the Shroud. And also just good at disrupting this dive-focused composition. There's a lot of anti-melee on the top side of KT, and it is a very short-range melee composition from HLE. You're diving into a Rumble, a Trundle, a Galio, who have a lot of control and a lot of damage they can throw down in response. I do think that Jiwoo, a lot more rests on him in this game than the last game on this Lucian. There's a lot of threats that you have to deal with, and you're playing around a short range. But if he pops up this game, he's going to look very flashy doing it, and he has the team comp, the teammates, who can help deal with some of these diving threats.
HLE need to regain their memory, essentially, is what this says, very respectfully. And, I mean, HLE, they won MSI, they came back, and, I mean, they're still very strong, but maybe not quite the tippy top level that the fans expect. Curious about bluffing on Rakan, see just how well he can do, especially playing behind Delight, who is one of the best at that champ. But we are ready, guys. Let's hop into the rift for game number 2. Okay, game 2. KT have the opportunity to 2-0 HLE and at least for now put a stop to their world's hopes. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, HLE, if they do win this, they get their world spot, which, as you mentioned, they're probably going to get anyway, unless something goes disastrously wrong. Kind of like that Justice Punch into midair. And now BDD doesn't have another ability.
Normally we so often see the Akali into matchups where she just has to weather the storm, take a beating, and survive. Having a fun time into this Galio, and if BDD does misstep, he will get punished pretty heavily here.
Chu's just ignoring bluffing. He's like, I don't even want to shoot that Rakan guy. Like, I'm going straight for Guma, and that makes a lot of sense. They're trying to put on as much pressure as possible. Xayah Rakan, definitely a strong duo, but Lucian Emilio will always win early.
I think level 3 is really where the Xayah Rakan comes online, when you have, that combo for the Xayah of abilities, and bluffing can go in and go out again. So often see that level 1 Gleaming Quill just because Sustainer offers, but when you're there with just a Gleaming Quill, you can literally just ignore you.
Yep. Feather's not gonna go in, as there's the combo with the double tap once again. And the range, Guma getting chipped at a little bit for sure, but this is to be expected.
That's the thing, you have a Rakan, a sustain, you have 2 health pots, one of which is actually just used, so I think it's pretty okay. It's actually finding the early pressure in this matchup. We often see level 6, when you get the extra healing, passive from your ultimate makes a big difference. We don't often see Ambessa having that much success on the early map.
Zeka not going to bite the bait on that one because passive auto was still up, Justice Punch was still up, as well as his Q. And I think if Zeka goes in, he just dies, but doing a good job to avoid the taunt. Getting pretty low in mid, but no jungle attention so far as it's full clears from both. And I say that.
Interrupted, it's gonna be so annoying.
Yeah, it will be interrupted at the very least. Gets the flash on top of it.
So often we see with the Kalis is like the last thing they'll do when they're clearing a wave is use the Shuriken to kill a minion. And I imagine
exhaust already. And it's just going to be a trade of sums, but Guma's going to have to back.
Yeah, not going really well with his Rakan. I mean, one thing with Rakan...
they're just going for the kill. Flash forward! Jiu picks up first blood just like that. And doesn't really deny all too much, but still going to get the kill. Now,
honestly, I think
actually the supports that got the
I think it's pretty good for HLE, because KT burnt more summoners there, and we'll hold that thought. Oh,
okay, well, I don't know what to say about
that. That was a misclick, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Bit of an oopsie.
I don't think that can happen.
It shouldn't happen.
I don't think that's allowed.
Now, yeah, in the bot lane, Jiu burning both summoners there to get this trade kill, and there's just not much of the wave left. Guma did a really good job of getting the root on the back end, setting up the feathers, which made it guaranteed it to be a 1-for-1. Yeah. Importantly, Jiu was the first one to get aggro on not Ether there as well, which potentially could have helped. But if you look, Jiu is going to have a bit of a CS lead, but he already had one before that play. Neither AD carry got the kill, and Guma still has his flash, so I think HLE kind of happy with that. Didn't manage to make the top gank work, but the less we talk about that, the better.
Yeah, definitely a bit rough on that. Zeka down his flash, so we'll have to wait and see if they can follow up onto the Akali. Can be difficult, especially once Zeka hits level 6, but if he runs straight into a taunt, perhaps they got something if Cuz is there. And yeah, bot lane, it's still not going to be happy times for the HLE bot lane here. But Kanavi is coming down, and meanwhile, Cuz is just going to put a ward, but he's hovering around the bottom side of the map.
Actually starting up the dragon here.
Oh, wow.
And already committed the first smite to it, so this should just get taken.
They're expecting Jiu to dash forward, but Jiu's actually holding on to that. And you know what? That's smart, because your jungler's doing the dragon. Like, how many times do we see, like, oh, my jungler's on the top side of the map, I'm just going to go in and die. Or he's doing an objective, I'm going to go in and start a fight. You don't have to do that.
Don't need to make two plays at once. Also, it's Ocean into Chemtech, two of the weaker souls off the cards. And early Ocean Dragon, pretty helpful in lane for that extra sustain. So KT kind of high rolling here with that early Dragon secure. And we'll see if they can maintain that as the game goes on. Now Kanavi not quite hitting level 6 here. There is the Scuttle Crab that they could try and contest to get level 6 though. Jiu is a bit low on mana.
Gonna kind of cancel the auto, and now we got Cuz down on the bottom side. They're looking for Jiu is super low, but the Galio does come in. That's still a kill over to Guma onto Jiu, but now trying to follow up here, getting very close with the taunt, just barely clips Guma, but the damage not quite there. Finally gets it with the Winds of War. And now Kanavi trying to follow up on this one as we have Zek on the roam. Trying to come on down to the bottom lane. So many low health bars here. Very nice fire kick, but the follow-up from the rest of the team is huge as HLE will pick up 2 and make it 3. Triple for Zeka from the mid lane.
I think HLE playing that really intelligently, knowing that they had the resources, and also Kanavi baiting out the Mega Fire Kick and the Pillar to let Zeka go in. So in the starting fight, Jiu wants to go aggressive, but so much of his damage is onto bluffing, which just isn't really relevant, because he goes in, gets the knock-up, they kill him, and he gets out. And even here, they're chasing down Gumayushi here. Heal comes in, they do catch him on a tower, but he gets this root in, the knock-up follows, it's a lot of damage onto Cuz, and he has to burn his flash. And then this, I think, is the pivotal point, is Kanavi winds up the Q, and KT are like, we have to interrupt this, but 2 abilities are used to do so, and as a result, it gives Zeka free reign to get in. Nothing left, no cooldowns. And he gets the 3 kills.
Yeah, just have a Kali carry, you know.
It's a Good strategy.
Help out bottom lane. 3 kills for Zeka.
And if you look from all the assists, Jiwoo still didn't get a kill. Guma did get a kill. He's only 100 gold down in the matchup. Zeka's now 1,000 gold up already. And when he gets Gunblade, this game just becomes so difficult.
Yeah, they don't really have a good answer to the Akali outside of, you know, a taunt that can come through. Besides that, I think she can kind of just run around the fight without much recourse from the side of KT outside of just out-damaging him.
Yeah, I think BDD really has to sort of watch Zeka, match Zeka and hold him down in the fights. Things like the Mega Fire Kick and the Pillar can interrupt dashes and stop Akali, but they're just so kind of, they're so difficult to land it on a champion that moves so quickly, especially a player who pilots it so well. And to be honest, considering the previous game we had from Zeka, it's good that he's looking positive in this one, because the Rise game was not one of his best, but he's in prime position to carry on his signature pick.
Yeah, it feels really good to get him the kills there. And now we got Guma laning against Perfect, as we did have a bit of a lane swap situation. And now Jiwoo's coming down bot once again. So just a temporary kind of thing, I suppose. Zeka just doing whatever he wants here in mid.
Did get the 3 grubs picked up by HLE, and Zeus, because of these rotations that came in from KT, is getting some time to hit this tower. We'll get another plate, so he's pretty up in that matchup. 500 gold lead for Zeus, 1,000 gold lead for Zeka, and bot stabilized even now between the two. This is a good spot for HLE to be in.
Yeah, just hanging out, farming bot. That's really, you know, the mindset of Guma is just farm it out. I'm Xayah. In the late game, I can do what I need to do as long as I don't die to Lucian. I should be doing my job. And, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens on this Drake. We do have KT, you know, they sent their bottom lane top. The Grubs went over. Then they sent their bottom lane down to the bot lane again.
Well, Hanavi just got Sundered Sky, and Zeka has Gunblade, so I'm going to say...
You ain't fighting for that.
Yeah, Essence Reaver also for Gumishi. I think you will let this dragon go if you are KT. And based on Kuz's position, that's what they're going to do. So good call. Good call by KT all around.
Yeah.
It's even the fact that, like, Bluffing has Zeeks as well. How rare is it that it's like a support one-item completion that comes through being a factor? But it's just everyone on HLE, apart from Zeus, who went the Hex Trinket early, has the first item completed. So you don't want to mess with that. The resets come in. We do see Essence Reaver and Sundered Sky picked up for Jiwoo and Kuz, respectively, but too late to really contest this one.
Yep. Sun Vision, they know, and they do not care. It is Mountain Soul to be the response, and if KT does get that, feels like that'll definitely help against all this aggression from Homalife Esports. A lot of focus down here on the bottom side as Kanavi shows up as well. Always got to be careful about dives, though, when there's a Galio on the enemy team, and Kuz is right here. This is going to be a 4v4 if HLE want to take it, as already some damage goes into Bluffing, but now the Charm comes in, and the Galio is right there from the mid lane, and they're totally fine with that. As in goes Zeka, the taunt is down, and they don't have a good answer. The Fire Kick actually going to hit Zeka. He doesn't want to dive into 4 people by himself, so he is going to back away.
Unfortunately, the Pillar actually worked against BDD in that situation. A little bit of anti-synergy there, but HLE going pretty aggressive. They burn a lot of resources from the other side. 4 ults down, but no summoners, and Kanavi has to use his flash to get out of that situation. But definitely a tense one between these two teams.
Not really sure why HLE committed so hard to that play. I mean, obviously you've got Vi, you've got a Fed Akali, sure.
I'll explain it. So they have Kanavi on the team, and they saw a champion
enemies
on the other team. And I think that's the reasoning.
Some red health bars. Trying to get on top of Kuz here. Gonna throw in a Vi ultimate. Effort is right here. And Kuz does not have his ult. As now the 3-man taunt is gonna come in, but BDD's just trying to peel for the team, essentially, and try to get Cuz out of there, as now they're going back in, just trying to survive barely, as Zeka will pick up the kill, and that will be his 4th of the game.
Yeah, BDD goes in, trying to create space for his jungler to get out, and just ends up sacrificing his life in return. Another kill for Zeka. Does not feel good in this situation, especially as he was able to pick this one up without even having his ult available. So here the pillar comes in, but Kanavi ults at the same time to buffer it. BDD, I don't think he had to flash here. I think he could have just channeled the taunt. I think there was maybe some angle where he was thinking we can actually turn this, and that's why he flashed to make the play, but it was just a bit ambitious, and if you just channel the taunt, I think he actually just lives there.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it was kind of close. Zeka had to go under the turret to just barely get him, but, you know, if BDD had played it slightly better, perhaps he gets away. It is still an Akali with 1,700 gold in the lead.
That's a lot.
So, you know, not a whole lot you can do. BDD really on the back foot here, just going to have to try and, again, peel for the team. That's essentially his job.
I mean, a big aspect of Galio is being tanky enough that Akali can't just easily kill you. And if she gets more and more fed, that may end up being possible for Zeka, which would be a big problem. Has got the Abyssal Mask, presumably the Imperial Mandate after. Great setup for helping your team's damage, especially when you have a Rumble in the top lane. And we talked before about how KT's composition can definitely interact well into HLEs, but this far behind already just does not feel comfortable.
Cuz alone in the jungle. His, rotations are coming up, and he is going to throw down the subjugation, going to make him much more difficult to take down as he survives for an incredible amount of time. But eventually, it will be enough. And in order to avoid the dive, Perfect threw down the equalizer, but now he's getting Gove anyway, as there's 4 people going in, and Bluffing barely going to get away as they pick up 2.
Played really well there by HLE. Bluffing setting up the play under the tower and able to get out again afterward. Now, KT trying to get some damage on this mid lane tower, but I think they will be forced back. And just not really much of a reprieve. HLE are making these plays, going aggressive, and there's just not much to respond. We've seen that, obviously the mid lane matchup isn't ideal, but the Galio into Ambessa feels horrible too. They catch a CC on a Cuz, no flash here. You're just dead. The only saving grace is that by pillaring Guma away, he stops him from getting the kill. That's the only selling point of this sort of situation. And here, Perfect tries to get the damage down onto Bluffing, but Bluffing just gets out of range in time. Did have his flash though.
We're going to have a Trundle in trouble again. And really no way for him to get out. No flash, no subjugate this time. Melio's there, didn't matter. And they're just running around finding Cuz and killing him.
This is what this composition can do. You know, it's aggressive, lots of dive threats, lots of ways to go in. You're ahead. You just see Cuz's camp is available. We're going to kill Cuz on repeat. And it's just getting your team further and further ahead. Zeus can't be matched. I don't think either solo lane is having a fun time. I think Perfect would do slightly better, but BDD's already gone for the Abyssal Mask into this Eclipse Ambessa.
Yeah.
He just gets absolutely destroyed by Zeus right now. I mean, it's an Eclipse and a Hex Drinker. There's just no way BDD ever has pressure into that matchup.
Yeah, just essentially sitting there under the turret and clearing waves like that. That is his job. Okay, he is going to go in for a trade and do like 10% of his health bar. Zeka did pick up a 5th kill in the bottom lane dive. He actually took down Perfect. And now he's getting close to a Shadow Flame, 2nd item. So, KT, again, they still don't have a good answer, especially when BDD is not here yet. So, just going to have to give away the first Mountain Drake, most likely.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe the 2nd Mountain Drake, too, at this rate. We'll have to see when that...
Will we have a 2nd Mountain Drake?
I would say, yeah. I don't think they...
Probably.
I don't think they finished the game in 22 minutes.
Well, maybe they just do the Baron instead, and then they end it on the Baron?
That could happen.
Could happen.
That's the sort of point we're at in this game, is they are just very, very far ahead.
Yeah.
Herald used mid. Nothing they can really do about it. Can they stop this charge? Yes, they can with the Trundle. Good work there by Cuz. Look at the silver linings here, Brendan.
Yeah.
Find some positivity in an otherwise not so positive situation.
It's not that easy.
We've seen teams lose games faster than this. They also have 2 kills.
Yeah.
And an Ocean Dragon to stay hydrated.
I don't think that's the way that works, but they do also have water on stage, which they have not spilled. So.
Very rainy today in Seoul. Very wet. So
that was the first hour of my 2-hour drive. Was just torrential rainstorm.
Oh no, Cuz is doing a camp. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Oh, perfect. He's in a lot of trouble here. Zeka goes in. It's an easy kill for him. Uses the R2 to get out.
I think putting the Galio into the Akali and the Rumble into the Ambessa would be better than this. I don't think either situation is good, but at least it wouldn't be this bad. Perfect getting solo killed. Zeus, I can't even imagine. If he just gets BDD away from a tower for a moment, it's going to be a nightmare. But yeah, they don't have answers in their solo lanes. It's a 3,600 gold lead in the mid matchup. And Cuz, there's not even a camp there, buddy. You just that brush isn't yours either.
Yeah. None of that area. Actually, nothing on the map is yours. Maybe the fountain, I guess.
You know, Zeka made some sick Akali plays in the past, but this one just felt so nonchalant. Just like he obviously hits a shuriken, which is big, but he's just like, yep, I click my buttons. I'm equalizing the tower. I don't care. You're dead. The joys of being this fed.
Yeah. I mean, Akali has so much mobility that the equalizer is just like... Perfect's like, well, I might as well throw this out because, you know, I'll get it back by the time I respawn. But it doesn't do a whole lot, that's for sure.
There's something called the equalizer that didn't look very equal.
No. It really didn't.
And Zeka's just denying minions. Gets the tower. Almost 4,000 gold ahead.
You know, we almost had a game in this one. There was a point in time where I was like, hey, this Lucian is getting ahead. We're making some plays around the map. And then they went too far in bot, gave 3 kills to Zeka, and here we are.
Yeah.
19 minutes, 9,000 gold lead.
I will say, I was pretty critical of Kanavi and Zeka in game 1. This is a big blow-up. This is a big turnaround, so definitely defining this game with their plays. And, you know, we'll see what they can do in game 3, because it's looking like we are heading in that direction for sure.
I mean, that's the thing about really aggressive play is that, you know, when you're behind, it just looks like you're kind of running into them over and over, and it just looks kind of silly. When you're ahead, it's like, wow, they have so much control. They're outplaying their opponents. It looks amazing. And, yeah, they certainly are doing that here from very far ahead. Even when they weren't that far ahead, they did a good job of gaining control of this game. And even Ju can't do Lucian things.
I love that Cuz just keeps trying to get vision on that that brush next to the rafters. Keeps going for it. Oh, they're looking here for Zeus.
It's got a lot of dashes, but there's the harpoon and a very nice equalizer. Going to catch Zeus even after the flash. And there's another harpoon, as I think that's enough. The flash on it with the super mega fire kick is enough.
Okay.
And they give the kill over to Ju.
What is the cost of this play? That is the question. Because they already took the tier 2. They will be taking the inhibitor tower. Can you get back in time and force a fight? Answer probably no. HLE take the gold and back away. So I think it's a good thing that KT are trying to make things happen. Oh, if they interrupt here, this is just good just to buy time. Let you hit this tower in the bot lane. There is objective bounties available as well. The tower did hit him back, which and he'll actually back away. He won't stick around to get the whole tower here, so not that much gold really coming in. We're kind of seeing the result of Cuz not being able to farm any camps and being killed every time he does. It's 2 full levels and a little bit is the lead in terms of experience. Cuz just at level 12 there. And we're once again fighting over the Raptor area. There's a new control ward. How long will it last? Okay.
You know, if you can control the bush, Trundle can kill the wards really quickly.
This is Cuz's new minigame. He's accepted camps are not on the menu, but he will just sit there and munch a ward that gets placed down here.
Yeah.
A good game plan.
What if there was a ward that, you know, you could place it in the bush and it would attack other wards that get placed there?
That sounds pretty broken. Like
well, that's just Cuz.
Well, yeah. Is it quick enough?
That's him. He's a ward. He stands in the bush and he attacks the wards when they get placed.
He has slightly more functionality than a ward. You can put a pillar down.
Well, maybe this ward can also place pillars.
Oh.
Oh, that's just Trundle from behind.
They've lost control of the brush. It is now a HLE control ward there. Game plan is move back in and remove that control ward because it's looking for an angle.
Yeah. Jonas Strong was so locked in on that one bush.
Oh, he cancelled his recall. He's going for the... Oh, it looked like he was going for the ward next to that control ward there. You know Cuz wants to. This is what he's locked in on. This is what the game has come down to.
Yeah.
He wants the backup of Effort. Effort's recalled. He's bought more control wards and wards. Dragon is being taken. This is your window, Cuz, to move in. He's going for it. He's trying to make the play. And they get it. It's a successful operation from KT there.
Yeah. Honestly, a really good job from them, showing some good effort here to take that down.
Effort did show some good effort.
Cuz even going to take down the other ward, too.
Wow.
So big props to KT.
Camping in the brush again. Navi's approaching.
Yeah, I think Kanavi's like, yeah, I just kind of want to end this game. So let's take this bush back.
They double control warded it. Oh, but it's dead. And they have a new control ward back in the brush.
But it's not fair. Trundle and Lucian are so good at taking down wards.
That's why they drafted
like,
this.
I'm going to engage, okay? They are going to go in as now the Ambessa just piles over the top and BD's like, I am zoning everyone. I'm doing a great job of it. Oh, wait, I'm dead. He does flash away, and the wallets are just so gigantic, guys, that they really can just put their face in it and end the game.
They just charge at them. You know, Kanavi ults into 4 people, and they just press all their buttons and win. They were really far ahead. And I think the worst thing of all for KT is they lost that ward in the brush. So,
yeah,
perfect TPs for the shield and just dies. This was a very dominant, very convincing win from HLE. KT, there was a couple of minutes where they were in it. There was a couple of times they got that control ward back in the brush. But other than that, they just didn't really have anything.
Bluffing, just standing there throwing emotes at the enemy team. Mental warfare. Might be time better spent because this one was Dunzo for a while. And Guma called it. He's like, all right, 3 kills to a Kali carry, let's go.
Sometimes games are just over very quickly, as this one was. But, you know, credit to HLE for following through. We've seen them have some mishaps before when they get an early lead, but they were convincing on this one.
여기서 보자. 빨리 떠올려. 살짝 볼게. 봐봐. 켜놓을게요. 오케이. 천천히. 앞에부터. 나 봐줄래? 나 봐줘. 앞으로 가면 끝낼만하다. 끝낸다. 따라 끝낼만하다 이거. 럼블 로페. 라인만 지켜요. 텔 타고 올게. 확인. 우리 3류총이랑 끝낼만 할 거야. 럼블 로페. 이거 텔 쉴드.
가봐.
턴라인만.
나대면.
띄우면 잡을만하다 이거.
네, 잘부터 잡자.
너 탱. 나이스.